Good morning, Story Trading VIPs. It's Wednesday, January 25th. I'm back in my office, back to our regular schedule. We'll have our VIP post-market wraps again right at 4 p.m. every day. And today at 4:30, we'll jump on Zoom for a collaborative session on whatever you want to talk about. All right, so here we are. I warned about Microsoft earnings and said, hey, that could be an event you want to take some risk off the table before the event. And that's playing out perfectly here. Microsoft 3% down after their guidance was not good. Interesting. Last night I had a big surge in after hours, and I told everyone, wait for the conference call. That's all that matters is the guidance in the conference call. It's not good here to me that Microsoft is now below the 20-day moving average. That means it has eyes potentially for the lows again on Microsoft. So the bear market rally could be over, especially in those risk assets that really have exploded, 20, 30, 40% moves in January. That party may be coming to an end. So you got to be a lot more selective on what we trade. You can see the QQQ now heading back down towards 279. We have Tesla tonight. I don't think Tesla's going to have a big impact on the market. That's its own animal at this point with what's going on there. We have Intel tomorrow. I believe Apple's next week. So right now, it looks like we're back to a risk off, at least for a while, until the next big news event or the next big catalyst that may turn things around. And, longer term, my perspective is we are heading into a recession, and there is still room of maybe 20% or so to the downside for the major indices. So that's why I continue to recommend to be on alert. We have a color-coded system I've developed, an orange alert, 15% hedge, and I think our red alert's 25%. We're actually right in between. We're using our swing allocation to get a 20% hedge here that we established late last week heading into earnings season. So that's what I'm recommending here. And if you haven't taken risk off the table yesterday, today perhaps a good time to do that. I might even take some AMLI off the table, which worked for us really good. Before we talk about that, let's get into these specific stocks. Tesla, the earnings today, it looked like it had eyes for 150, and now it's with Microsoft, it's curling back down. We really don't know what's going to do. I did postulate yesterday the possibility that it's going to test that 150 regardless of what happens on that earnings conference call because it's been discounted. Stock has been discounted so much, and it's just so close to the 50 DMA that it looks like it wants to test it. So that's the story there, but you really don't know. If it's a really bad report, obviously you can head down towards that 124 support at 20 DMA, and if it's a really good support, break that 150 and off to the races. So either way, I really don't think Tesla's going to have much of an impact on the market. Yesterday, we're killing it while I was on vacation. The last 2 days, I was saying, hey, time for AMLI. I said two mornings ago. And then yesterday we had the news on them buying back some royalty streams. Unfortunately, I can't show a chart. TD doesn't have it for some reason on AMLI, but 350, go look at it in your own charts. 350 was a significant resistance level. It broke that, and the next one's up there was like in the mid fours or something like that. So AMLI has been working. I'm up pretty nice on it. And so despite the fact that it's broken resistance, given where the market is now, I may be tapping that to take some profits to increase my cash position. Now, something else that really worked for us the last few days, was GNS over the weekend on this short selling theme. Look at that. That's crazy. And then, but BTB, after I got out of GNS, BTB actually my favorite one of this theme right now. Well, because of the chart and because of, I said, relative downside safety compared to GNS. It's already been crushed because of an offering below the offering price of 450, way below it. So we had a 3-day roll, lots of different factors going for this, and now it's working. BTB working out really well right now. The CEO is going to be on Reddit this morning. We don't know exactly what time. They said to monitor the Twitter account of BTB, which I'm doing. Interestingly enough, there's only like 100 people or so, or maybe 200, in the hundreds. The amount of people following BTB on Twitter is in the hundreds, even though the press release said follow the Twitter account to find out what time the CEO is speaking on Reddit this morning. So like hardly anyone's following that BTB account on Twitter. So if you want to have an edge in the market, go to that Twitter account, put on notifications. Now, my notifications are muted right now because I have the show running, so maybe something's coming out as we speak. But that's something to monitor that will give you an edge to jump on it, because there will be an event anticipation run as soon as they say, hey, 10 o'clock on Reddit or whatever they say, the thing's going to start running into the event. And then possibly you may want to sell some right at the event starts, because it could be that there's disappointment. The expectations may be running ahead of what actually happens on this event on Reddit. So that's the way I would play the psychology, front line the psychology on BITB this morning. We've had a position since yesterday. By the way, the targets on this, let's review this. Okay, the target will be the high from a couple days ago, 281, which it broke yesterday. So after 281, it's now below it, but you'd have to, I guess, break 281 again. And then the next one's 319. And then if you break 319, wow, 450, 460 at the 200 DMA. And then the bottom of this gap, 501, like lots of room to the upside here. Really exciting play with a decent risk reward here. Which is why we caught in much lower prices yesterday. But yeah, all of those targets, especially the 319, I think would be the one that's really in play as an even you can get there as an event anticipation as soon as they tweet that thing out that, hey, it's going to be on Reddit, let's say, for example, at 10 a.m., then the thing might run towards 319. And then, we'll see. I have to play it by ear. Maybe it doesn't make it to 450. Really depends what's said on that live stream and if there's an accompanying PR associated with it. The real catalyst that's going to push this is if they say, hey, we're declaring a special dividend, or hey, we're going to do some sort of merger to flush the shorts out, or whatever it is. So take a look at that. Now, AIR had a press release this morning, and I put out my analysis. Someone asked me that, is this going like over 36, another new all-time high? And I have my doubts on this one, so I didn't jump on it this morning because this news release is different than the other ones. Well, I don't have the full news release here, do I? I just have the Benzinga mention. Okay. Well, what's happening? This is first of all, it's for qualification. It's a new customer, which is great, but there's no dollar amount assigned to it because they're still going to be now qualifying the equipment. So there's some risk there, and also some time that has to happen before they can get those orders. And also, it's mentioning here it's a supplier, which is, I think, different than our last two customers, which are like the fab manufacturers, I think. I'm not an expert in this space, but the wording seems a little bit different than the last two, the two major customers I currently have. So I don't know if this is probably not one of the big five. So for all of those reasons, I'm thinking that this was not the catalyst that's going to take this to new all-time highs again, over $35, okay? And of course, you have the market going against it, but you also have Tesla tonight. So Tesla probably will have an impact on AIR. If you test Tesla flying after hours because of some good guidance or whatever, or they beat, then AIR might go with it, and vice versa, right? So there's some added risk here, exogenous risk from Tesla earnings, combined with my analysis of the PR. It's not really the catalyst to send it. I could definitely be wrong. Longer term, I see this going to 50 to 100, and then in 2024, Photonics comes online over 100. Some long-term investors may have the same view, and they may see this PR and see this as validation that their thesis is right, and it's heading to 50, and maybe it'll go up. But this is my analysis here. I will say, though, that having this new customer, I think, increases the floor, increases the likelihood it holds support. You can see both the 20 and the 50 DMA here just above $25. So I think there's an increased likelihood you hold 25, and maybe even a chance you hold 30, possibly. But 25 to 30, I wouldn't be surprised if it heads back to these major DMAs. Well, the 20 DMAs at 26, especially in a big market pullback. So that's where I'm at right now. I think we're potentially at the start of a big market pullback, and AIR can correct back down into the support area of $25 to $30. So that's what I'm looking for. I don't have any trading shares. I sold those all at $34.65, which I'm holding. I'm going to be holding on for dear life, as they say, HODL with diamond hands. So just going to have a little patience to see if I can get AIR on a pullback to the 25 to 30 area as far as the trade goes. All right, some other news. INMB, this one's, we got to bring Dan Carlson on. Read this press release. Very interesting. They have some good data on mice in muscular dystrophy, some data that muscle can regenerate. Really, very interesting. And it looks like, look at this. Because of this data, the company has formed a wholly owned subsidiary, DNO2, that will hold rights to DMD-specific muscular dystrophy, that is, intellectual property and know-how. So they obviously think this is a big opportunity, big enough that they're creating a wholly owned subsidiary on INMB. Really tough to trade the price action on biotechs here. So I'm not going to try to do that here. I do have a long-term position. 774. It was trying to look at it's battling the 200 DMA is what's happening in pre-market, battling the 200 DMA. I don't know. I really don't have a prediction for you. I just think it's interesting news on this, and maybe we'll bring Dan Carlson on to talk about it. Maybe on heavy volume, if it breaks the 200 DMA, you can say, hey, it's got to move to 9. But this is something really long term. So obviously, no revenue from this for a very, 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 very long time, and also a slim chance that they get revenue from this. So biotech's a different animal, really hard to trade, but it is a very, very interesting PR, which is why you have 43,000 volume in this moving up. So, net, it's positive news compared to yesterday. So we see the stock at 725 yesterday. Maybe there's a day trade in here at least. Maybe if it gets into the 750 to 725 range, maybe it can pick that up and then sell it, in the eights or something like that. Potentially there's a trade in there. I won't be participating in that though, because I'm day trade limited today. I can't day trade today. I got restricted. I held too much stock overnight, so they're not letting me day trade today. All right. Let's see. GOEV had some news. I don't think it was too significant. It's a distributor in, was it Saudi Arabia? Yeah, Saudi Arabia distributor for their vehicles. Now, distribution news I typically don't think is huge news. But this stock has not had a run. Look at it. It's just a normal volatility, the range it's been in for 3 months. Compared to other risk assets, which have really taken off, this one hasn't. So it could be that this news, which is not necessarily so material, is being used as an excuse for people to say, hey, it's GOEV's turn. So you can see here, what was the high here? 138. It's above this recent resistance of 138. So this is interesting. I did, even though I can't day trade in a different account I have where I can hold overnight, and I can actually pick up some overnight shares. So I can pick up stuff to hold overnight. Maybe in my trading account, I'll pick up some shares. Maybe this is a swing move. And look, it's got resistance here at the next one after 148 is 168. So 150 and then 168. But look at this big gap all the way to the 200-day moving average. So potentially this PR, even though I don't think is so material, the material news I'm waiting for on GoEV is financing news. A big financing partner, like 500 million, 300 million, something like that. Financing, hopefully non-dilutive, but even if it's dilutive, maybe the stock drops on a big dilutive financing, and then you get in. The company has the contracts, they have the momentum, they don't have the money. So financing really important here for GoEV. Okay, interesting chart, isn't it? There's a possibility this can move. So, as I said, I did pick up a small position in my IRA, and I might pick up some in my trading account on that today. TUSK, there's some news on. I'm not the expert in TUSK. I know Chris has been talking to us about it, and exactly this. This $379 million for they think they're owed from FEMA for work in Puerto Rico. So I don't know if this PR is, if you read it, it looks very much in. I'm not sure how many people knew about this. I think this was in the SEC filings. So this is now in a press release. I'm not making any predictions on this for today, but just wanted to note that now that's out there. So whatever intelligence or work that Chris brought to us in terms of this money, now it's known. Now it's in a press release, and that makes it that much more concrete. So this is something that maybe we can continue talking about with Chris Tarbert. Maybe an opportunity in there on TUSK, but I'm not going to be taking a trade on that today. Clearfield, we're hoping. I was disappointed yesterday. I thought we'd break 76, which we did, but I thought we'd make a move to 78, and it didn't. Okay, so that little disappointed there. Maybe the market's going to weigh on it. We'll see. I was really hoping for the stock to make a run to about $85 to $87 before the earnings report. Unfortunately, we have CALX coming first. Let's see when CALX is reporting. Let's see. Today is January 25th, and CALX is going to be reporting on. It's not even here. We got to go here. Oh, is it today? CALX is report. Okay, this is. Okay, hold on. Is it today? Let's see. It might be today. Where is it? Do anyone see it? CALX. Okay, after the bell. Come on. Hard to see this. All right, sorry for the delay, guys. I should have had this at my fingertips. Must be in here somewhere. Wow, there it is. It's today after the close. Wow. Okay, so CALX is today after the close. Ah, man, I can't wait to get this out of the way to remove the weight off of Clearfield. So CALX is after the close today, and undoubtedly it's going to have an impact on Clearfield. So we got to monitor that after the close today on CALX. And then that brings us to, I guess, the last one I'll cover, LLAP. This has been a swing, a little bit of a head fake over $2, pulling back. I don't know, with the market conditions right now, I might exit the swing position. I was hoping for 250, but sometimes market conditions change and you want to be in a little more cash. So I'm not sure about this. I'm going to see how it opens and then make a decision if I want to bail on that or continue holding a swing position in LLAP. And with that, we're going to bring on our lovely guest, Vegas, in just a moment here.
Good morning, everyone.
I Love Stocks Vegas. Good morning. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Doing okay. Back in the office, looking at this market action. I'm thinking maybe this bear market rally we had in risk assets just might be over. I don't know how much you were participating in those micro caps and biotechs. It ran like 30, 40, 50% in January, but I'm thinking it might be coming to a close. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's no, I don't know about coming to a close, but it's been rocky there. So definitely going to be watching. So especially monitor like the IWM. So I'm definitely going to watch that, see how that behaves. But today's going to be a challenge. I mean, with all the pullbacks here because of Microsoft and Boeing, but still some good stocks out there. Like look at Shopify is just fabulous. I mean, that looks
Yeah, we
great.
talked about that yesterday. Let's see. How's that been doing? I imagine it got hit with the NASDAQ. No? Oh, no. Wow.
No,
Is there news out this morning?
Yeah, there was some news there on Shopify, and
what was the news? I don't see it in my feed. What was the news?
Yeah, there was some news about something with their board approving something. Let me see if I can pull it up here because it did see here. They had some pricing updates, and that's why the stock was on the move. The news came out a little earlier. They did announce in their blog post that prices for its basic, mid-range, advanced services are going to increase, actually the first time in decades. But they said the price that they charge has been unchanged for 12 years. But the stock did gain over 6% today. So the new pricing will take effect in April.
You called, so let's stick with this for a second because you called this along with NVIDIA as a swing trade. So I'd like to check how they're doing. So Shopify, great call yesterday. Maybe got a little lucky with the timing of this catalyst, but this is really, really nice. Good job on this. What's your target on Shopify as a swing?
Let me just double check here. My target on Shop, I think it was like 40. I'll tell you what my target is today. So my target today, I'd like to see this go to 46.82 and 48.80. So if it gets there today, I'll be done with the trade because I think I was targeting 47.50.
Oh, wow.
Originally, I had the $43 calls as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you.
So that's doing really well. I like that one. Yeah. And by the way, the other thing too is thing is like I like to follow the money flow, right? So when I follow the money, I want to be where they are. And we've had a lot of long-term calls and leaps. I noticed some leaps on Monday were being purchased on Shop. So, when you got to see what the price action to the money flow, because it is sometimes, I'm going to say a clue to where it could go. So Shopify is doing really well. My original target was 42.50. So that's already been met. And now, based on today's levels, looking for 46.82 and then 48.80, and then I'll be done with it. But
well,
yeah,
good for you. Yeah, you got one over me there. I was skeptical yesterday because of Microsoft. I was not expecting Microsoft to do well. I was right on that, and I was afraid it would take all big cap tech down with it, but it's not. You saw something with the money flow and Shop, which is distinguishing itself from QQQ and those big cap tech. So awesome call on Shopify. Let's pull up NVIDIA. Are you
Yeah.
still bullish on this as a swing?
Yeah, still, and listen, I'm still bullish on NVIDIA. I mean, it still has, obviously it's pulled back a little because of Microsoft. So obviously it's down almost a little lower than 2%. So, yeah, I just can't let today's action determine my swing trade on NVIDIA because, it's had a little pullback, but to me, the NVIDIA chart looks great on a weekly perspective, even though Microsoft's pulled back in the stock. So, NVIDIA in particular, for today, I'm going to be monitoring this price point here, in particular 192.06. If it gets back up there, well, I mean, it's going to have to take some work. If it gets back up there, then we could see a move to the upside. I mean, right now, I really just don't want to see it going under 188.50. But on a long-term swing perspective, I just don't want to see it under 180. So, right now, the trade's still good. I'm just going to let the trade play out. I'm going to be watching Microsoft, though, on a reversal. Okay, because Microsoft has pulled back. And so what I like to look at when I'm trading is I like to take advantage of the IV crush, especially with options, with earning plays. I mean, the 235 calls closed around $10.17. I'm going to be watching Microsoft. Take note of this level, but I will be watching it for a break over 234.86. If it breaks that level, I'm going in for a reversal trade and looking for this to head towards 237, 238. If it breaks 239, you just never know. It could go head towards 241. So definitely going to look for a reversal on Microsoft. So really trying to take advantage of the market. Also, we have Tesla reporting today after hours. So that'll be an interesting one to watch today as well. I mean, not during the
day, guys,
but tonight.
I've seen Vegas in action, and correct me if I'm wrong, Vegas, but those intraday reversals, trading options on intraday reversals are really your bread and butter. At least I've seen you've made incredible calls on that.
Yeah, you know what? Reversals are like, I will say I always caution everyone and caution even my members that listen, the whole point of the reversal is you're anticipating the move to the stock to go back up. But I always caution, starts like when the trade triggers, take a small size because of course they can fail and you would never want to be in a, load the boat, so to speak, and then be like, holy crap, I lost so much money because I thought it was going to go. Well, you didn't, it didn't work out. So it really is it's risk reward because I'm getting the contract on the IV crush. So, I'm not going to go like super heavy or anything like that. I usually start very small, sometimes just a couple contracts, and then I wait for other levels to be confirmed. If it breaks 236, then I'll add some more contracts. But at least if I have to take a loss, my loss will be small. So, I mean, I don't know what these 235 calls will be this morning. I'm really interested to see what they'll be worth this morning because those were like $1,000 last night. I'm like, whoa, whoever had those, what a shame to see them getting crushed this morning. So yeah, that's why I don't really play options into earnings. Very rare do I do it. And if I do it, it has to be like really cheap because at least if I take the loss, it's really small. So yeah.
Very, very smart. Good discipline from you, Vegas, on that. Really appreciate the insight you're giving on this. Remember, you can follow Vegas at I Love Stocks 1 on Twitter. She also has her own community on Discord where she does mostly options day trading. Would that be a nice characterization of it? Maybe some swing trading.
Yeah, we do day trade. I do lots of swing trades as well with people that like long-term swings or that don't have time to be in the room or don't have time to trade. I give swing trades that, they could still go about their day and not worry about the trade. They just, I give them a trade. I do give everyone a trade plan with stop loss so they can monitor the trade and then obviously take profits along the way as well as targets are met. So yeah, we do lots of swing trades too. I like long-term swings. They're the safest. So yeah, it depends your trading style. So there's always opportunities for all kinds of traders. So,
you nailed Shopify today. We're going to make that the title of the YouTube that goes out at 4 p.m. Vegas nails Shopify. Good job.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
Thanks for joining, man.
Okay, guys. Have a great holiday and I'll see you tomorrow. Always a pleasure talking to you guys.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks,
Yep,
Ben.
we'll see you at 4 p.m. for post-market wrap and 4:30 p.m. on Zoom. Bye-bye.